Good evening and welcome to the Ordinance Subcommittee. Today is Tuesday, May 24, 2022, 7:02. Members are present, Councilor Selena Reyes, Councilor Maria de la Cruz, and I'm not going to, Councilor Levis, and the Chair is Stella Reyes. Pursuant, and I'm going to acknowledge the presence of our Councilor President. That is always a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
I know what I'm not wanting.
Pursuant to, thank you. It's always a big thank you. Thank you. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting in Ordinance Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that the person who would like to listen to view this meeting while in progress may either attend in person at the location above or use of any of the following access locations: Facebook Lawrence City Council page and YouTube City Council page. Council, can I get a motion to approve the minutes of May 10?
So move. Second.
Motion has been made, properly second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I do not have to go to roll call since all the members are present. Council, I'm going to be taking a couple of items out of order. Can I get a motion to take document 17422 out of order?
So move. Second.
Motion has been made, properly second. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Document 17422 is a petition for pole placement, new constructions, Oak Street. It has been put in the agenda by Anthony Marina, but we have Ms. Hernandez. Councilor Reyes.
Good evening, councilors. This item is in conjunction with Verizon. We are requesting the need to install a pole on Oak Street. The pole is needed to complete the underground conduit, which will bring the overhead telecommunication lines underground, needed to start the demolition of the project. Any delays or any further delays to this work will impact the overall completion date of the project, which, as we know, and we learned from the groundbreaking ceremony, the completion date is 2025. Your approval of favorable recommendation for this item is being asked of you this evening in order to allow Verizon to move forward with this pole installation and schedule the needed work orders to move forward with this item.
Okay. If that needs a police detail, are you going to be closing the street, or that's going to be inside of?
It's not going to require any additional. It's already within the areas of the project that it's closed off. It's behind the school, literally right behind the school, so that area is already closed off.
Okay. Councilor, any question? No question? We usually have to send it for a public hearing just because we have to let the public know what's going on. I'm going to send it, but that doesn't mean that the project needs to stop for that, because it's inside of the project. You don't have to articulate the traffic, and that's basically what we are looking for.
Thank you.
Councilor, can I get a motion to send document 17422 with favorable recommendation to order a public hearing? Motion has been made, properly second. All those in favor? Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you. Councilor, can I get a motion to take document 16522 out of order?
So move.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. 16522 is the Old Gold Second-Hand Dealer License, House of the Pond, 243-249 Broadway. It has been put in the agenda by India Torres.
Yeah, my wife.
Yeah. The wife?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not here today. She couldn't make it.
So this is a new or is a renewal license?
It's a renewal.
It's a renewal. Okay, so we're just gonna check to make sure that all the papers are in order and we have all the sign off. So far, Counselor. What? Okay, any question for the applicants? All the papers are in order since this is a renewal license. Can I get a motion to send document 16522 with favor recommendation?
So move.
Motion has been made, properly seconds, all those in favor? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
You do need to be present to our next city council meeting, which is going to be, Councilor de Rosario, when is going to be our next city council? When? June 7.
At what time?
7.
7? All right, thank you.
Same channels and everything, 7. Thank you. Councilor, can I get a motion to take document 141, 142, 143 as a block and out of table? Motion has been made, properly second, all those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Good evening, Sergeant Bonilla, Lawrence Police Department. What you have in front of you is 3 companies that are renewing. And I checked all the paperwork, all the background, and everything appears to be in order.
Sorry, Sergeant Bonilla.
So I'm here in behalf of document 141, 142, 143, 3 transportation company.
Yeah.
They are renewal, none of them are new, and I checked all the paperwork, all the background, everything appears to be in order.
For all of 3.
All 3.
And this is a renewal, this is
No, they're
not
not
a...
new company, they're renewals.
This is a renewal. Counselor, any question? Okay, so Sergeant Bonilla, I don't know how much you need to know or be involved with this. We've been getting the same complaint like every time you come in front of us. Is there any way possible that we can set a meeting with all the taxi driver, since you have control all of that? I know this is kind of difficult. I've been in that position before, but the amount of the complaint that we've been getting, you know, pressing horses, stop in the middle of the road, going too fast, they don't respect the signal and all of that. So is there any way possible that you can help us just to put something together?
Well, I haven't received any complaint, but I'm sure I can look at it. And I'll have a meeting with the drivers. Easy to do.
Yeah, but we need to be present. One of us needs to be present to pass the word around.
Let me work on that. I don't think I have the space to have 100 drivers present. I might have the association members. There could be maybe the company owners. Is that good? Yeah, we could do it.
Let us know if we can hold the meeting even in the city chamber. So if it's too many, you know, drivers and everyone want to participate, we welcome to open the door, because this is a concern, a safety concern, that our constitution has been complaining longer than know, and I had been pushing and stopped just because we were waiting into this opportunity to, okay?
No problem, yeah. Let me get a meeting together, and I'll let you know. We'll probably do it at the police department, the roll call room, because there's plenty of parking outside. There's no parking around here in the daytime.
So where do you think it?
At the roll call room at the police
Okay.
department. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll set it up. So give me like a week or so to call these people.
As soon
and
as
get
they're
together.
better.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
we're gonna be coming available whenever you're free to do so.
If we do it, we'll be about like 10 o'clock in the morning. That's a good time for them. They're not too busy at that time.
What time?
10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
All right?
just, okay.
No
Thank-
problem.
Okay, thank you. Since all the papers are in order, and, so can I get a motion to send with favor recommendation 141, 142, and 143? 141 is Reliable LLC, 142 Town Library, Inc., and 143 is Mediterranean LLC. Can I get a motion to send it with favor recommendation?
So move. Second.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sergeant. Councilor Rosario, since we don't have anyone in the waiting room, can you let us know what is your item numbers that you wish to take it? Since you are new, name and address for the record.
Gregory de Rosario. I reside at 322 M Street, soon to be living at 46 Juniper Street. Councilor Rosario, 322 M Street, soon to be living at 46 Juniper Street. I have an item, it's 155. It's a,
Okay, can I get a motion to take document 15522 out of order?
So move.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor? Aye. The ayes have it.
No,
155 is a resolution recognizing Marty Gabriel Martinez Jr. Can you tell us a little bit about this
yes,
resolution?
Martin, it's a 16-year-old kid from Lawrence, which graduated a year ago from the charter school and was accepted at St. John's High School in Denver with a free ride, how we called it. And Marty was actually just also indicted to the National World Language Society by actually speaking, writing, and expressing himself in Mandarin at 16. He has wrote books and stuff like that, and it's a kid from us at 16, and I think we should recognize that kind of participation for our youth and to let the others know too that it's possible. This kid is fluent in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and now Mandarin. I think it's a well-deserved recognition. Out of, I think, 200 or 300 participants, he's the only one, even though he was picked at the Denver's high school, where he goes, St. John's in Denver, is the only kid from Lawrence. They actually got picked up for that.
Thank you, Councilor Del Rosario, for taking the time and bring this in front of us. Yes, I think we have to do more often, so that way we continue motivating our youth just to continue being the person that we want to bring it back to our society. Any question, Councilor? Motion to send document 155 with favorable recommendation.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Payano is also here for
250.
250? Okay. Can I get a motion to take document 250-21 out of order and out of table?
So move.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Document 250-21 is no confidence vote on Superintendent Cynthia Parrish. It has been put on the agenda by Councilor Payano and Councilor Levy and Councilor Salino Reyes. Councilor Payano, good evening.
Good evening. I believe also Councilor Rodriguez was also a signature
And Councilor Rodriguez.
of that motion. We submitted that, as the Public Safety Committee submitted that last year because of issues that we were having, communications issues that we were having with the superintendent and her office. We sort of paused on that to see how the relationship would go after conversations with several members of the LEE board. I think that it is no secret that these communications, that nothing's changed. And I think it's time that we had a discussion as a whole as to whether we are going to continue moving in that direction or whether we're going to take a strong stance and have not just the superintendent's office but the LEE board, which oversees Lawrence Public Schools, understands that it is important that they take Lawrence into account in their decision making and in that process. We're all elected leaders here in the city. We all represent, the people of Lawrence. As an at-large counselor, I represent over 100,000 people here in the city, and I think it is important that their will is respected, and that their voice is represented in the things that are going on in the city. Unfortunately, I think, there's a lot of issues we could discuss: public safety, we could discuss educational achievement, we could discuss, but unfortunately, we are at the point where the discussion is there should be a discussion, and that you should be at the table. This is why I am asking all of you to send it to the full council so we could have a conversation about this and hopefully be able to move forward.
So move forward, what would be the next step?
Move forward, depending on how the council feels, could be saying yes, doing a vote of no confidence. Or it could be something else, depending on what other thoughts there are within the council. We put this vote of no confidence because for over a year, we were trying to get the superintendent to come to our meeting. Once we submitted this vote of no confidence, superintendent came to our meeting. I am here today because, various members of the Public Safety Committee have mentioned this to me, and that there's a want and a need to have this discussion at the full council, because they have been unable to get the superintendent at their meetings. I think several councilors were at the LAE board where we were talking to the LAE board about the powers that they have and letting them understand that they're basically the school committee members of Lawrence Public Schools, and they're currently not using those powers. I think it's important that we take a stance so that way the LAE board members understand how serious we are with this issue. It is important that all department heads have conversations with not just the mayor, but all of you and all of our other colleagues. So it could be, Madam Chair, that we vote to say a vote of no confidence and all of that, what that means, or it could be that the committee wants to do something else.
When you extend the invitation to Mrs. Paris, what was her response, not to be coming or be attending or present to the meetings?
So I will, while I was chair, I've had, various discussions. I would like to keep sort of my discussions that I've had with her over the phone, just like I would have it with anybody else, private. But what I would say is that my statement is that there's no excuse to not being able to attend a meeting, right? You could say that you can't make a meeting, so we can reschedule to a different date. But if even rescheduling to a different date is not of interest to an individual, then something's happening. I think there are some conversations that need to be had in the public eye. While I'm open to meeting with anybody individually, there are times when the committee as a whole sees a need to talk to not just a representative, but the person who is leading a department. And I think when that happens, it is important that those department heads are there. Every other department head in the city has that respect. Not just every other department head. When we asked for members of the leadership of the LCAT, right? LCAT came. Granted, they didn't come exactly when we asked them to. They rescheduled, and then they came and spoke to us. Just like if we were to ask any other nonprofit or any CEO of any company here, which we sometimes do, they come and speak to us. So why is Lawrence Public Schools any different?
I met with her last week in person, and I request to have a meeting with Mrs. Parry, where she didn't refuse, and she was very open just to try to give the benefit of the doubt to mediate something that I think it went too fast, or far, I should say. Because I think we has been dealing with this since last year. We haven't gone anywhere, and I know that everyone has been doing their part or every effort that we can make possible just to not satisfy, because we're still having the same issues down there. I think it would be a great idea for her to step up, I think, and just to kind of had a meeting with the parents, and just to kind of see how they can meet her and the middle ground, and not to kind of go to one side. I have no objection just to send this vote of this item with favor recommendation. And I just want to let be open that I go anywhere we need to go and bring this to a different level. What I don't want to continue seeing happen is that we have an item sitting in our agenda, something that continually happen, and we haven't given any answer. Not that we're going to be able to resolve anything. Nothing happens overnight. This is not a new problem, and I've been saying this over and over. So complaints are starting like little things, and then we just continue, let it go and pass, just because nothing is going to be done. So I think it's time for us just to step up, and if we decided to place an item in our agenda with no confidence, we have to make sure that we understand what is the meaning of no confidence, what has been happening between what I have done, what I had been received, what is the participation, what is the income or outcome from something that we had been dealing for such a long time. Councilor, any question? Councilor De La Cruz.
To get Ms. Paris, if we can get the early board. They are the one that had to respond to us about the gains and the loss of the accreditation. How long they're gonna be here, and what else they need to do, and how we can help. If we don't go with that approach, then we are fighting with the wrong person. We need to confront the early board, and we have to demand to them, because they are the one leading. They are the one leading. They are the one leading, and they are the one making the final decisions. Then why not to start from the top, and then they can bring whoever they want to, because I think they are the one that came in 5 years ago, and we need to have responses. What is working? What is not working? Where the gains that we've been having? Where the loss? How far do we need to go? What it is that is keeping us as a receivership? Then calling any superintendent or principal, it will not give us all the answers that we need as a community. Then, as Ms. Madam Chair was saying, we have to know exactly what it is that we're looking for. And giving the early board the opportunity to continue with this painful receivership that we are going through, they are the ones that have to listen to us. Today, the news is very sad. A school has lost more than 15 people. Then what are we waiting for anything similar to happen in this city? Then I will blame the early board for anything that happened in this community, because they are the ones saying yes. They are the one approving the Capital 7 money. They are the one moving this city. How far are we? Where do we need to go? What do we need to do? How long do we have to stay with the receivership? And then we can call Ms. Parrish. I don't work with Ms. Parrish. I am not defending her, but the responsible people that we have to bring over is the early board. And I hope they have answers to all of our questions. What do we need to do? What else do we need to do? The kids are gaining. Do we need to remove the MCAS? Is the MCAS benefiting our kids? Are we having any program for the new energy system that is coming? Are our kids knowing about solar panels, renewable energy? Are our kids getting promoted because of the knowledge that they have, or they are sitting in a classroom looking at the face of the teacher, then the one that is harming us the most is the early board. Thank you.
Counselor, I won't go deep into it, but what I would say is that there's already been conversations with the LAE board, serious conversations by various council members trying to figure out how we move forward. What I'm hoping is that we can take this conversation to the full council so that as a council, we can have this conversation. Right now, I think that it doesn't necessarily make sense just to have the conversation, just us five, because there are other people in the room that have input when it comes to this. But I do really deeply believe, that the council as a whole has to take a stance. Now, the council decides that they don't want to go this route, that's fine. But I think that we have this item that's currently here about an issue that was occurring for over 2 years, not just one, over 2 years, that's currently ongoing, that people have spoken about, and I think that it is time that we have that conversation and we figure out what next steps are. I have already been clear to the members of the LEE board that to engage with me in discussion, that I want to engage in discussions with them. If they're not in the room, then I don't necessarily want to be a part of those conversations. But that's my own stance with my own views, because I'm a big believer in giving respect to not just individuals, but the titles that they deserve, and I expect that that respect should be given back, not just to myself, but to my colleagues. So not seeing that, I think that, and these comments is exactly what I said at the LAE board a few weeks ago. At the moment, I completely am with you, Councilor De La Cruz, and I believe that even more, there has to be a conversation of what happens after, after receivership. How do we transition out of receivership? I don't think that this is that discussion. I think that we're not even able to have these discussions because there's been, I can't even articulate it, I can't articulate why somebody wouldn't want to meet with 2 counselors, the mayor, and a parent about a public safety issue in the school. I don't understand why somebody would say no to that. So seeing that I can't understand it, and I've articulated that with several LEE board members, they can't understand it either. And what I've asked for them is to put a plan in place to make sure, because what I want the best is, this is my personal view, I want the best for LPS, and I hope that things improve. That's my hope. But that being said, I think that there's this piece of conversation that needs to be had, and as a council, we have to send some type of message. Because if we have committees that, for example, if you are asking for the police chief to come before you and the police chief doesn't want to come before you, that's an issue. Just like any other department head. And at the end of the day, whoever leads Lawrence Public Schools is a department head. If you ask for the president of the superintendent of the charter school, any of the charter schools, to come here before you and they say no, that's an issue to me, right? And that's something that I would want to figure out. Now, I wouldn't say that we would need to take a really strong stance that month, but if a year or more continues, then we have to take necessary measures. But that's my own view. There might be other counselors that think differently. There might be other counselors that are like, hey, just by us having this conversation, that's enough, and they understand. Maybe that's it. I'm in a different state because having led some of these efforts for a while, my frustration level is different. So all these communications I've had. So I'm at a point where personally, I don't see progress, even though I hope that it will occur. So with that said, I will leave it there. I don't know if Councilor De Rosario had something to say, but yes, thank you.
Thank you to you, Madam Chair. I'm with De La Cruz, Maria De La Cruz, Councilor De La Cruz, at some point, but we represent our people. Our people, our community, has no idea of the board. We haven't done enough to let them know this is the people that actually should represent you when it comes to education. They don't know, so they relied on us. And we've been trying to have this conversation. We even went to the LAE board meeting the other day to bring people so they can know what the members are. Another thing that I want to add is, if you see that board, on my personal level, everybody has different things, like Pavel said, like Councilor Pavel said, that board does not represent me. They don't wake up, half of them, or more than half of them lives in Haverhill. They don't wake up every morning and talk to the neighbors like I do, or go to the Arlington neighborhood and talk to the neighbors like I do, and they open their arms and say, what's going to happen tomorrow? They don't do that. I talked to Ventura Rodriguez, which is the chair, and I expressed to him the same thing I'm telling you. I say, you don't walk through the streets of Lawrence. And I know they are responsible for what she does, Ms. Parrish does, but Ms. Parrish is, let's put it this way, is the administrator of what she is. She's the face of the LA, of the schools. If we ask her to come here and explain to us in public so the public can see her, why would she deny that? I mean, you're doing a great job. I've been asking all of them, teachers, parents, the LAE board, I asked them, name me something in the past 3 years that she has implemented that is actually working in school, so I can enlighten that. And I can say, you know, Ms. Parrish implemented this, and it's working. Nothing. Nobody has nothing good to say. I can mention one board member, and I'm going to reserve her name. She said, you know what, Gregory? Crying over the phone, she said, I failed my community. One of the members. But I'm only one vote. That's what she said. I'm only one vote. I'm not going to make a change as much as I want to. And I feel crying. She was crying. And she told me, I failed my community. So we as a council, we cannot fail our community. They voted for us. They depend on us. And they asking for us to do this. And we are the only one who can do it right now. Put a little pressure on it. And something might happen. But if we cross our arms and let the LAE board do whatever they're doing, which they're not doing anything, our people are going to keep suffering. Violence are not going to change in school. We're not going to know what's going on in the school. Nothing is going to come to us for us to bring our community and let them know what's happening. You don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. And the person that had the answer don't come here to give us the answer, to give us to our people. A plan of what's going to happen tomorrow. A plan of what's going to happen next month. Something happened in Texas. Are we going to wait for that to happen here before we make a decision? It's going to be on us. We represent the people. The people give us this position. And so many people cannot be wrong. If it's going to be something me, it's not personal. I have no idea who Ms. Parrish is. But if it's an institution, write a letter and have 50 signatures of parents, it's concerning. 2 signatures of a parent, it's concerning. And I have tons of emails that I can provide you guys. And the last thing, you probably have a letter in your mailbox from Sueño Basketball concerning. They run a program that has 250 kids from the schools. Some of these kids don't want to go back to school. My neighbor Maximo, 328 Ames Street, he took his daughter out of Lawrence High to put it in a private school. In 3 months after that, I had to bring Maximo up to the mayor's office to get help for his rent, because he couldn't afford paying a private school. But he didn't want his kid to keep going there, because she was a good student. She's still a good student. And a lot of parents like Maximo are going through that. And what should I tell Maximo when I wake up tomorrow morning? What have we done? And we're going to give these people more opportunity? 3 years or 4 going on. Keep also in mind, that in a couple of months, in July, she's up to a raise. $15,000 more into her salary. $15,000 more into $260,000 a year. Ms. De La Cruz, Councilor De La Cruz always says, what is the salary? With that money, we can have so many people working for the community. I don't hear from anybody. And she's up to get $15,000 more, at least $15,000 more in July as a raise, without doing anything for our community, without engaging with our community, without schools going down. Yeah, we can blame receivership, but she's the face of the school. She's the one that should answer the questions. She's the one to tell you and tell me. She should come here and say, I'm using this money from the school, $220 million a year to run this school, and this is what we're doing. Look how great our kids. Look how safe you kids are. But she decided not to come here, so we need to do something. At the end of the day, what Mr. Payano says, it's up to us. Some of us have different thoughts. She has invited me to sit down in private. I don't need a private conversation because it's not a personal thing. It's my community that want to hear her say, this is my plan. This is not working, but I'm going to make this work for you guys. And she don't want it. She has declined all of that. So we need to keep that in mind at what we decide today to do. And if we move forward to keep that in mind, we respond for people in our community. Again, I don't live in Newton. I don't live in Haverhill. I live in Lawrence. And I respond to those people in Lawrence. Thank you.
Councilor De La Cruz, yes.
Gregory, Councilor Gregory, I would like to reply to you. I am not against the petition. I am not. What I'm saying is that it seems to be that Early Board came to this city to fix our problems. And what have they done? I would like to hear from them as well, because I wanted to see the ABCs that they have done. I wanted to see what are the pieces that we as a community need to do for them to give us our school back. The Early Board, they have more power because they came to oversee the superintendent. Then why they are not responding to our needs?
I mean, if you want me to go to a personal level, I can tell you on a personal in my heart, they all need to go. All need to go. From the LAE board needs to be restructured. All people from our community that understand our community. Our superintendent needs to be somebody from our community that understand our people. She probably had all kinds of stuff that she has. It's not a personal thing. Ms. Ventura Rodriguez could have whatever. They're not from here. And when you don't understand, my community is a special need community, not because they're special education. It's a special need community. When my community needs something, they come to me. Ellos no van al bodeguero. They don't go to the market and say, Greg, I need this. Can you help me out? And she hasn't done it. The LAE board also has done it. We've been there. We've been in communication with the LAE. Councilor Payano been in constant communication, but if we don't put our foot down and say this is what we want from the get-go, they're not going to get it. They don't understand the power that they have. One of the members crying, saying that they failed the community and they don't know what to do to help the community, tell you that they have no idea what kind of power that they have. And then you have somebody sweet-talking you right next to you. Sweet-talking right next to you. There's stuff that has been happening here at the chamber, like we're going to have in a couple of weeks, recognizing a student from our Lawrence. We recognize a student from our Lawrence, and we don't have the superintendent showing up here. That should be, this is what I've been doing. This is why this kid have a national championship. This is why this kid is running 200 yards and he's run this fast, because this is the work that I put in. She's not even proud about what our kids does. Kids been doing. Again, it's not a personal thing. I've been in Lawrence for 30 years. I went to Lawrence Public School, and I never been anybody so disconnected with the community than what we have. Again, if we go to the LAE board, they don't represent none of us, but our community doesn't know that they exist. We haven't done enough to tell our community, we haven't done enough to tell our community. This is the people that we need to ask questions. There was a gentleman try to bring a letter to the LAE. And you know what they tell them at the 237 building? That the LAE doesn't have an office there. And he was trying to drop a letter of complaining to let them know how they feel. And they did not receive the letter at the office. That was yesterday. And they told them that the LAE doesn't have nothing to do with the Lawrence Public School. Okay? And you know what that person did? Asked me for an email, and I gave him the email for every member of the LAE. That's how bad things are. It's the members, and I'm going to go into deep, and I'm going to finish with this. The members of the school department, Lawrence Public School, are afraid to lose their job. And they don't want to speak up. And they don't want to help us out to figure it out what's going on. It's terrorizing, the emails that I get from teachers telling you, I'm going to tell you this, Greg, but please do not say my name. Teachers? Afraid of what this representative or whoever's running the school department is doing when they show up in schools? And we don't want to do a vote of no confidence. We don't want to have that conversation. We don't want to bring those emails. Tell me to give you the emails. And once the conversation opens, I'll provide you all that information. Terrorizing students, terrorizing parents, not complying with parents, not complying with us here to have a simple conversation like we're having right now. And you still want to give these people there? We need to start somewhere, and then we go to the LAE, whatever. But we need to move with this vote of no confidence as soon as possible, if it's possible. At the end of the day, whatever the vote goes, it's okay. It will be accepted. And then we'll take it on the LAE. And we'll take it to the Lawrence Public Schools, too. The workers there, the assistants here, that they don't speak up. You know why? Because they don't have kids in the school department and the public school anymore. And they're afraid to lose their job. So, I mean, I'm crying for my community. I'm talking for my community. It's not a personal thing. I don't know Ms. Paris on a personal level. Thank you very much.
I know has been a very sensitive topic. My question is, and I'm just going to repeat it, and it's not a question, it's actually just a comment. I wish we can bring this a different level, that we don't stay only just to say and show our community that we place an item in our agenda, but nothing happened, because I can see in your face the frustration of what can we do. We want to bring and deliver a message out there, and not just to kind of have something and open a discussion that is going to be throwing the ball to one side to another, but nothing has been done.
And I appreciate that. As a new member of the city council, I feel hopeless for some of us that have been there for years. And this has been happening and no action is taken. You know why? Because it's simple. I could do this and say, I don't have kids in the public school. Because I don't. And I don't need to fight this fight. I can sit down in my house, drink my coffee, and let whatever happened in the public schools happen. But guess what? I owe myself to our community, ask me questions on it every day. So we need to do something. They give us this position, so we need to respond. We cannot just sit down and say, why don't we give it to somebody else? When they call me that there's something else happening in any district, you know what? I'm going to call you, but I'm not going to tell you, well, it's District B, give her a call. No, because we
Yeah.
represent the whole city. We need to make decisions for the whole city and our whole community. We cannot, like you said, and I'm sorry, Madam Chair, ping-pong the ball, send it over there, and wait for the ball to come back, and then send it over there. Let's make it happen. Let's do something.
Yeah, but as you remember, since you had been a resident for 30 plus years, I can tell you that the issue that we are facing, this is not too long ago. The problem internal has been on forever. External has been brought it up to our attention. So that's something that, yes, we need to step up, but the most important thing is not just to have name and an item in the agenda, because that's not going to bring us. The matter of fact, it's going to make us look even worse, because nothing has been done. Nothing is going to be done. So we need to make sure that when we said we have a confidence vote for someone, we're not voting on title, we're not voting on personal, we're voting on a solution that we need to bring back to our community. And like I say, I'm going to repeat it. Internal has been on for years. External, not too long ago. But thank you.
Chair,
Yeah, sorry.
through you.
Yeah.
I understand your frustration. I think so is the frustration of everyone in here and also for everyone in the community. So it's time for us to start taking a step. Last year, when we put the item, a meeting was called to the Lawrence Public Library, and instead of coming over here to talk to us. So many things were offered, so many things said that it's going to be done, and still today nothing has been done. Yes, the frustration continues, and it's going on. I think that we, as a council, need to take a step up.
Thank you.
And this is the time. Thank you for bringing this here, and also Councilor Payano, that is out. But we all need an answer. Our constituency need an answer. We have so many questions, in and out. So, Madam Chair, I'm going to make a motion to send this item to the full council with favor recommendation.
Thank you.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor, we are going to go to the top of the agenda. Document 15122, loading zone at 106 Common Street has been put on the agenda by Matt Zapala and myself. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano and also to table document 15122. Document 15422, handicap parking at 88 Brookfield Street. It has been put on the agenda by Councilor Levy and Maria Roque. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano and also to table document 154. 156 is 250-minute parking at 477 Howard Street, restricted for the new business. It has been put on the agenda by Councilor Levy. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano and also to table document 15622. 157, new light on pole number 31, 10-10, net 4824-47, Howard Street, corner of Platt Street has been put on the agenda by Councilor Levy. It's going to be sent to DPW Director and also to table for respond. That doesn't need to go through the officer. 15822, handicap parking at 4850. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano and also to table it. So I'm going to stop right here, and all the one that I've been reading, I'm just going to call for a motion to approve so far. Motion to table 151 and send it to Officer Cano. All those in favor?
Aye.
154,
Aye.
156,
Aye.
157,
Aye.
and 157. We all voted in favor, Pat, okay?
158.
158. 158 is a handicap parking at 48-50 Sander. It has been put on the agenda by Olympia Valles Dominguez. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano and also to table. All those in favor?
Aye.
159, handicap parking at 5 State Street has been put on the agenda by Lucy Santiago and Councilor Infante. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano and also to table the document. All those in favor?
Aye.
167, traffic study review, Woodland Court, has been put on the agenda by Councilor Selena Reyes. It's going to be sent to Officer Cano, City Engineer, and to table the document. All those in favor?
Aye.
So Pat, you got that? 167, Officer Cano, of City Engineer, and table the document. 170, resolution for stop sign request at Markley Ave in Perez Marquette Street. It has been put on the agenda, Councilor Infante, which I have her on Zoom. Is anything, Councilor Infante, that you want to add into this?
Councilors. I think the resolution is pretty self-explanatory. A resident came to me and expressed concern about children playing around that area and vehicles speeding and what I'm assuming is taking that turn fairly quickly. And they're looking to resolve this issue before a tragedy occurs.
So the document 170 is to place a stop sign. Okay, so can I get a motion to send document to place a stop sign at request Marklin Ave and Paris Marquette to Officer Cano and also to table the document? All those in favor? One, thank you, Councilor Infante. Document 17122, adding the planning director position under the Planning and Development Department. Councilor, I know that we haven't been able to have a planning board meeting just because we don't have quorum. I hate just to stop this item down here, but I don't have anything more in the agenda. I don't have any draft, I don't have anything. However you're gonna feel about this. We can send them pending.
Can we send it, Madam Chair, can we send it to the attorney?
No, that's what I'm gonna be sending to,
And
with
table
favor
on here?
recommendation to order a public hearing pending the draft from the city attorney.
I will refer the draft before we send it.
That's what we have to discuss. It. So I think at this point, what makes more sense is just to table and send correspondent to the city attorney to send the draft and kind of explain the ordinance that we're gonna be adding to our city charter.
I agree with that.
So can I get a motion to send correspondent to the city attorney and to send the draft with the change of that any ordinance, if there's any, and also to table document 17122.
So moved.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Pat, 171 is to send correspondent to send down a draft to the city engineer. Yeah. And also to table the document. Document 172 is a resolution in recognition of Lourdes Luna Ceballos. It has been put on the agenda again. Councilor Infante is working. Wow. You're keeping us busy. Make sure the next time you don't have any item in this agenda. The floor is yours, Miss.
Thank you, Chair. I am particularly very excited for this item. Lourdes Luna Ceballos was recently nominated as a U.S. Presidential Scholar. She is a senior at Greater Lawrence Technical School, and she is also a resident of the city of Lawrence. And this recognition is one of the most distinguished, highest nomination or award that a high school student can receive in the United States. Only 3,000 students across the entire country are nominated every year for this award. And out of this year, out of those 3,000 students, only 6 students are vocational students, and one of those 6 students is our very own from the city of Lawrence and Greater Lawrence Technical School. So I'm really excited to present her this award if it passes her and celebrate her in the City Council chambers.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to send document 172 with favor recommendation to the full council? Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Councilor Infante. Okay, any table item that we wish to take at this time? No? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion has been made, properly seconds. All those in favor? The ayes have it. Thank you, Councilor.